how to avoid getting trapped in big moves from gold, and how you can actually take advantage from it. This was one of my trades from last week, guys, and I shared it with you on Instagram, and so many of you have replied to the story and asking me, Darius, how? How did you protected this trading idea with the correct stop loss? How did you took the entry, and how was the concept behind it? Let's dive into it, guys. I'm gonna share with you everything. Let's go. So this was the trade. As you can see here, this was one of the variations that I used to take this trade. I've used multiple of them on this day because I wasn't sure by myself where the best opportunity is gonna be. And to be honest, I was not in the office, right? Most people, they have strict routines that they say they only trade when they are in their place. But for me, if I'm honest, I will never be able to actually trade successfully if I always have to be in the office, always in the right place, and have everything perfectly set up. Because if you're traveling or if you will do something else, and this is normal life, then you will always be unprofitable. Like, is this your excuse? Most traders will say it that way. And for me, I just figured out a way on how I can like also get into trades and also not lose too much in bad situations, or how I can actually take advantages and win big, even though I'm driving right now with the car and making sometimes breaks to analyze the charts to see what I could do in that one moment. So for instance, on this particular trading day over here, I was kind of like, not sure by myself in the beginning. And as you can see here, when we had 9 o'clock, I was actually analyzing the market a couple of minutes before, and all I've been waiting for was basically for price to go up higher. Like, my bias at that day was strict bullish, and I can tell you quickly why. Because very important is actually that you understand the higher time frame every single time when you're trading on the lower time frame. Now, most traders will say that's not true. And yeah, you can use your SMC concepts to figure that out, but I promise you guys, you won't be able to trade successfully that way. I can promise you that. So if you quickly go over it, and I just now break down everything and I delete everything and show you now the detailed explanation that I also share with my inner circle members every day after they took a trade. I send them a forecast Loom video with everything, also what's gonna happen in the New York session, why I did that, why I opened up the trade here, and also explain them that I'm gonna open up a trade in specific cases when something happens, explaining them one more time for every new member what my entry confirmation model is, what I'm looking at, what risk reward, and so on. So guys, basically that's what I shared with them, and this is what I'm sharing right now with you guys, was that I've seen on the daily time frame a fair value gap right over here. And because of this thing being here, I was expecting price to be bullish at that day. As a result, spoiler, it's going to be bullish at that day. Very, very beautiful, right? And now people would say, yeah, we're going to now shoot it up till the moon, till new all-time highs, whatever, till the next structure high. If you're trading that way, you probably need to rethink a few things, because I'm not here trying to predict everything. I'm just trying to predict, if I'm honest, just the next couple of hours, right? If it's just 1 hour and I see a decent movement and I've capitalized on that, I'm happy. I go with the profits away. That's exactly what I want. But more than likely, what people forget about is when they're trading is that they get too greedy, right? And that they don't have actually strategy or mechanics that can help them to like tell them specifically when they have to stop the trade, right? Because basically, just applying concepts to the charts will not make you profitable. I think it's a point. I'm gonna talk about this in my new bootcamp here on YouTube, which I will release very, very soon. So turn on the subscription button over here, turn on the notification bell on YouTube to not miss out when I'm gonna reveal that, because we're gonna talk about so many things that most mentors are charging thousands of dollars in order for them to sell it to you. I'm gonna give it to you completely for free. And it's basically the understanding that you need mechanical rules for everything, right? You need to understand what you're doing and also understand based on your personality what might fit you the best, right? This is actually a progress, right, which takes time. Some will be faster at this process, some will take longer for it, which is totally fine. The important thing is that you just know that it takes that, right? Most people won't even know that. So basically, for me, at that day, it was very strict and simple what I tried to capitalize on. And that was basically a quick, long move. And the reason I was expecting that this is going to happen is that if we just quickly check out, oops, spoiler, I was too fast. What I tried to like figure out in reality over here was, when I analyzed the charts, was that we tapped into my fair value gap, right? As you can see here, very deep test to it. And we've had like a very bearish structure. And I explained them already, yo, you know what's gonna happen? This is a bearish structure, which most traders will misunderstand. They will all look to sell it today. Well, we in Inner Circle, we're gonna buy the hell out of it. Why? Because this big movement in this case is not the real structure. It's not the bearish structure, although it's gonna look like this. No, it's gonna be actually the manipulation to bring price even higher. And you will see that this is a very high probability. Now, of course, everything can change from time to time. This is why I'm not holding trades over several weeks or days or whatever. I held them only for a couple of minutes up to a couple of hours. That's it. And the thing is, in this case, what I've seen is that this bullish reaction from my point of view was my confirmation to look for price going up higher. We've also seen that the price here has broken through some fair value gap that we had previously, which was for me like a confirmation to tell, all right, seems to me like we're really gonna go up, right? But you will see then that on the lower time frame, the market is gonna like play with you a lot, right? Like most people or most traders will understand it now a little bit differently, because it also depends, of course, on your bias and everything that you have, because most people will say, look at this, we are in a bearish fair value gap. So we're gonna like actually consider price to drop lower. While we've been understanding that this fair value gap is not a valid one anymore, at least for me. So I was expecting that price is going to fail here. Like I'm expecting right now an inducement. What is an inducement? Inducement is actually a market movement which will tell the people that this is the market direction, but it's not the correct one. So we're gonna go at the end in the opposite direction. So what I like to see is always that the price is inducing traders, telling them that, hey, we're bearish, and after that, reversing back up. So that's what I've been watching for. I understood that this is the first manipulation movement down. I was not considering any shorts, although it would have been easy possible to take a nice scalp short down, but it's not my trading style to trade be like against my overall daily bias. And then my first mistake happened because I was trying to get into without looking too much at the chart. And I've seen that this is the first manipulation, right? Because now I've seen, okay, people believe it's a bearish structure break, right? Like we broke through structure, break through it back down, and now we're pushing higher. So many traders are looking to now sell. But I understood that there's another order block, which can bring price back down. And I understood that this is all equal lows. So I'm using basically all the time just very basic price action. Like the understanding of price action is gonna like really make you profitable, and you will like better understand when to actually get into trades, when to get out of trades, and so on. And then I've seen this manipulation, right, move down, and then I was like, all right, as soon as price is gonna like show me it's gonna go back up, I will take the long. So you see it's moving down, pull back, going down, and then I've seen this move up, and I was like, all right, momentum is kicking. I've seen that the price has used some liquidity from the left. I was like, all right, seems like a reasonable price for me right now to take this trade. Although I knew the risks, I knew we can go much deeper than that. And because of this understanding, and because I was not right now at the charts and I was not able to like look at it right now every minute to like make a proper decision, I decided for myself to enter with a very, very reduced risk, which means it's allowing me at the end to have a much bigger stop loss. So in this case, although it doesn't seem for most traders like this is a profitable way to take it, I was targeting right now here like some structural highs. And in the worst case, right, like I was able to put stop below these lows right over here. Now you will say to me, well, that's not even a positive RR. which is true because I was not expecting price in this case to like go straight to my TP without me having the ability to scale in if the price is going to give me more proper confirmation, and this would have not been my final TP because my original TP, or what I was anticipating, was definitely much higher. But just for the purpose of me figuring out, like at the beginning I was like, hey, I'm gonna like target the Asia high, right? But I have to see if the price is really moving to it. So this is how at the end I would have anyway hold everything longer. But what happened, and this is exactly how your plan has to change as a trader, and not marry your analysis, marry your trading setup. No, it was actually the price started to like tremendously drop lower. Once I've seen this move down, I knew already, okay, I've done something very wrong. My confirmation never like have been validated. In reality, I haven't seen here a valid break of structure in terms of my rules. I was just too fast, and I was just anticipating that the entry confirmation is gonna get validated. Because if we would have get a validation over here, obviously I would have been actually targeting more than just this blue line. At the end, you will see I will close all of my positions at the blue line just because I've been able to get a better entry later on with my normal risk that I take. So on the way down, I've been scaling in. I've been adding a few positions, also with the stop loss down below, and the price kept dropping until it started to give me finally my confirmation that I've been looking for, which was this move up here. You see beautiful breaking structure, and I've started to scaling more and more positions over there. And at the end, also to get like my last position, which was actually when the price moved up higher here. I can't remember now specifically, if I'm honest, where I took the entries. It doesn't really matter because at the end, also for your subconscious mind, and why you actually should pay attention to what I tell you here in this case, is actually you should just learn your eyes to see the market and the way on how your trading strategy would perform the best way. There is no reason for you to learn from bad executions. You always have to learn from the best way possible, because you have to like learn or teach your subconscious mind how your perfect setup will look like, so you try to replicate that in the live markets. At the end, you will never be able to replicate it, right? Like you will always make mistakes, you will always be sometimes later or faster or whatsoever, and it really doesn't matter because you just try to replicate it. But now let's just think about it for a moment. What if you would try to replicate something which is already terrible, right? Like let's say a bad execution from myself, like you try to replicate that. That would not make you profitable or a better trader. It would just be the best possible version of my bad execution, which is not what you try to be. You try to be the best trader according to the strategy, right? And according to the strategy, what would have been the best way in this case to execute would have been, from my point of view, specifically like this, right? Because here is like when you break structure, you see a momentum kicking in, and till this point here at the top, you would have had a maximum risk reward of 3.62. At the end, for me, still the day was very profitable because I had a couple of positions over there with the stop loss right over here. And then, of course, with the newer positions, once I've seen the price moving up higher, I'm also putting my stop higher. Now, I'm not doing this every time like physically, like I go to my MetaTrader and like point in the new stop loss. The reason for that is basically because I trade multiple accounts, and because I always close most of my trades with manual execution. This is something which most people would say, wow, they could never do that, because most traders, they are like paralyzed when they're running in losses whatsoever. For me, I've built up this habit to do it that way, which is a lot of pain to do every single time, but it's teaching me also that I have to accept my losses. Well, if you just like put in the stop and then you just look at the phone and you see like, oh, trade is gone. Most of the traders will not even like realize this sometimes. Well, I think it's important to like realize your losses, because that's the way in how you can like actually get better at it. Either you have the mindset that you kind of like, when you set up the trade with the stop loss, that you already like, all right, I've lost the trade, kind of like have this in your mind, but then still trying to manage it in case. it's a good thing to do. But secondly, I would say it's also a good thing to like be able to manually close once you're in a loss. That can be sometimes not as effective, but sometimes more effective. It's a personal thing in this case, and I think I would recommend to more people to have always a stop loss set. And I do this on all of my funded accounts, but on my personal account where I don't have this limitation that I have to like close my trade at 1% when you're under restrictions like this, then I personally just do it that way, because I have always the flexibility, especially on my personal account, that I don't need to like lose my 1%. I can also lose 2%. I can also lose 3%. And I decide for each situation what fits it the best. My last personal account, I flipped it from 2,000 euro into 30,000 in just 1 week and 2 days. And I've done this by understanding these principles. I've been always closing my losses manually. I've been only picking up A+ setups. If you want to have a video for that here on YouTube, just let me know and I will break down for you as well. So, and it's right now, by the way, already at 35,000 or something. So the thing is increasing sometimes dramatically. I just shared that with the 30,000 on my last Instagram story. Now it's already at 35,000. Looking forward for more, of course. So yeah, that's basically it. You see price then, actually moving to my TP very, very fast at the end. And I could have like actually hold it for much more, because my initial idea was, like I just explained to you, is to move up higher till the Asia high. And I shared all of these targets with specific points where I was expecting price to hit with my inner circle in the forecast. I also have been looking personally to look for a continuation trade. For me, it was just too risky to take this trade personally, because I was already in profit that day. I didn't want to risk those profits for a setup where I was not a 1000% sure on that. And I've seen like price being overextended the entire time. So I decided to actually not take this trade, although it would have been a very nice one to take. And of course, there have been a few validation points, such as over here would be a nice entry. This was then pre the news event, which would have been a validation, but because of the news event, I would not take it. A liquidity sweep, and here a break in structure, but here for me, the TP would have been too close. That's exactly why I was not ready to take it. But price actually kept on moving later on. So yeah, a few options on that. So guys, if you are interested in this trading style and to learn it specifically with a trading strategy on your side and not just concepts that you can also like learn from ICT for free and just spend 10 years over there to just learn concepts without a strategy, check out the link down below. Join the best community. We also have 1 week access as well if you're interested in just figuring out if this is something for you or not. Otherwise, go for the monthly or even for the 3-month program, so you can actually save more and have more benefits from our community. See you guys.